Ew. Fucking scraggly as shit in this. So the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me about how she wanted to start getting into fitness. She wanted to start changing her body. She wanted to get into shape. It's 2018. Boom! Everybody wants to get in shape for 2018. So then she proceeded to ask me a couple questions, you know, if I had any tips and tricks for people just starting out, things like that. And of course, me being the loving and kind-hearted friend that I am, of course I was going to help her out. I gave her some basic tips about, you know, nutrition, exercise, training plans, rest days, all of that shit that we all, you know, all want to know when we first start. So on my ride home, it then dawned on me, like, damn, what if I had not been there to help her out with her questions? Like, she would have struggled her ass off for sure. So that's actually where I came up with this video, is the top 3 mistakes that I see beginners make right when they start to get into fitness. So without me talking your ear off any more than I kind of already have, let's get into the video. Now roll some shitty intro scene so I don't have to stare at you guys awkwardly. What's up, guys? T back here with T's Live. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Nice to see you guys again. So today I'm going to be bringing you the first episode of a series that I'm going to call Talks with T. So this is just going to be a series where I can sit down and kind of just talk with you guys about, you know, a variety of different topics, give my tips, opinions, advice about a variety of different things. So today's topic is going to be my top 3 biggest mistakes that I see beginners make when they start in the gym, right when they're starting to get into fitness. So let's jump right in. Tip number 1 is not having a plan when you step in the gym. So the biggest mistake that I see people doing is they're excited, they want to get going, but they don't know where to start. So they just go in the gym and they start doing a bunch of random exercises, not really without like an outline, you know, with a path that they're trying to follow. So without having a plan like that, that leads to not being very consistent. Usually end up copying somebody else's routine. For dudes, it's typically the biggest guy in the gym, the guy who's jacked as fuck. And for girls, it's typically the girl with, you know, the tight waist and the big ass.
Yes, queen.
So yeah, that's kind of what not having a plan kind of leads to. A couple other things with that first tip. If you guys see me looking down, I have a list written out here with a bunch of subcategories for each kind of mistake, so I can go really kind of in depth and help you guys out as much as I can. So one other part that I see with people not having a plan is a lot of people, when they first start, they don't want to focus on the compound movements, you know, like the bench press, the squat, the overhead shoulder press, pull-ups, all those kind of things, big multi-joint exercises. I always see a lot of new people, they go straight to the machine, straight to the isolation exercises. Now, the downfall of that, while isolation exercises can be great and they can be good tools to help you build a physique, they're not a good place to start. You're supposed to add them in conjunction with the big compound movements. Now, the reason behind that is compound movements, they work multiple muscle groups at the same time, and they also work a lot of the stabilizing muscles. So let's take the bench press, for example. If you're doing the bench press, you're using not just your chest, you're using your triceps, you're using your shoulders, you're using, you know, your stabilizer muscles inside your shoulders, all the ligaments and tendons over there. So when you do compound movements, you start to build up those stabilizer muscles, and that helps you get stronger. You're able to push more weight eventually. So when you do isolation exercises, you're not working those integral parts of, you know, stabilization and things like that. So that's why I try to tell people, when you first start, try and focus on mainly compound movements, and you can add a few isolation exercises in here and there, but again, compound movements are the best thing. All right, so moving on to tip number 2. This is another big one that I see, is people that are over or under training. So what do I mean by that? So overtraining is when, I'll make it real simple. Overtraining is you're doing too much. Undertraining is you're not doing enough. So when people first start out in the gym, they're kind of in one of these 2 camps. As far as the overtraining goes, I see people that are in the gym for hours on end, excuse me, they're in the gym for hours on end thinking in their mind, the more I train, you know, the more I do the bicep curls, the bigger my muscles will get. That's guys, that's not how it works. You need to be, again, you need to be strategic with what you're doing in here if you want to get the most optimal results. So I'm going to make a whole nother video about training frequency, you know, and kind of that whole topic. So stay tuned for that. It'll, you know, be here in the near future. So one other thing that kind of comes from overtraining is something called that we call in the fitness industry, we call it DOM. So that stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. So you ever do a workout and, you know, like 4 or 5 days later, let's say you did a chest workout, 4 or 5 days later, your chest still hurts, like it's painful to even try and do a push-up. That's where that DOMS comes into play. It's that over soreness because you overdid it in the gym. So that's another big problem with overtraining. Another thing with the whole overtraining, you know, category is people don't take rest days. Like they think that, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym every day for like 3 hours and I'm gonna get huge in like 3 months. Like again, that's not how it works. You need those rest days. People, rest days are where you grow. That's where you give your muscle time to rebuild, bigger, stronger, better. So some people don't know, but when you go into the gym and let's say you're doing a bicep curl, right? You're curling and you're breaking down those muscle fibers. They're little micro tears in the muscles. So what rest days allow us to do is allows our muscles to take a break and they start to rebuild, you know, again, bigger, better, stronger. And then again, before I said, you know, a little bit about training frequency, it's either it's too much or it's too little. You got to kind of find that good middle ground. And again, I'm going to make a whole nother video about training frequency. All right, so moving into tip number 3, our last tip, numero tres, is going to be ignoring nutrition. Guys and girls. Nutrition is so important, especially when you're first starting out. If you can get a handle on your nutrition early within those first 6 months, you are setting yourself up to go miles beyond what you would have been at if you had ignored nutrition like most people do. I know when I first started, I didn't give a rat's ass about nutrition, man. I was just focused on, you know, I'm gonna go in, bump the iron and get huge, and I'm gonna eat like shit and hope for the best. Let's see what happens. Then, you know, the first 2 years of when I was lifting weights or getting into fitness, I really struggled. Like I made some progress, but not nearly as much as I could have if I actually, you know, had my diet dialed in right. So another thing that's kind of related with the nutrition aspect is you're not getting enough protein in your diet. Guys, protein is the building blocks of muscle. It's what helps you build those muscles bigger, better, stronger, faster, all that good shit. That was awkward. So if you're not getting enough protein, you're not giving your body adequate, you know, building blocks to get the physique that you so desire to have. Another tip that I like to give people as far as nutrition, especially when they're first starting out, is to try and track your macros early. Like learn to get in that habit of tracking what you eat and tracking your macros, tracking your calories. Try and do that early on so that way it becomes a habit for you, and down the line, 1, 2, 3 years in the future, it's easy. You don't even second guess it. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about, you know, what macros are, how to set up your macros for your certain goals, how to track them, tips for that, all that kind of stuff. So that's coming in the near future as well. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for tuning in again. If you happen to like the video, you know, the little, you know, there's a button that looks kind of like that thumbs up. Yeah, go ahead and hit that if you enjoyed the content. Even if you didn't, you know, leave a comment what I could work on, what you think was, you know, bad, what was good, and also in the comments below, tell me what you guys think your biggest mistakes or top mistakes are, whether it's you've seen people make them, you've made them yourself. I know I did. I made damn near all 3 of these at the same damn time when I first started getting into fitness. So nobody is immune to that, you know, that beginner's learning curve that everybody's got to go through. And also, if you guys do find me kind of entertaining, if you like these kind of videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. There's plenty more informational videos like this to come. There's going to be, you know, training videos, more advice. We're going to do shopping stuff because I like fashion too. This is not just a fitness channel. All that kind of stuff to come in the near future. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you